Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, this channel focuses on the ins and outs of living abroad in the beautiful country of Poland. Now for this video, I'm going to talk about what I've learned about my native language, English, while living abroad. Let's get started. As you may or may not know, I am a student in addition to living abroad here in Poland, and I study at the University of Poland. And I actually study what would be equivalent to language studies, specifically language studies, studying English. And the program is kicking my butt. I definitely didn't think it was going to be a walk in the park at all, but it definitely is a challenge in itself. So if you're thinking about studying abroad and if you find yourself only being able to take a program like English linguistics or a language program in your native tongue, I definitely recommend you to take it. Now, the first thing I've learned is that there is a huge difference between knowing a language and speaking a language and knowing kind of the mechanical, kind of theoretical things about a language, specifically, even when it's your own language. Your thought might be, well, hey, it's my language. I've studied this language in high school. Obviously, you studied this language in primary school and pretty much throughout your life. But when you study a language at the university level, you're really looking at all these little tiny structures and even big structures that make a language and make a language flow. And you're looking at a lot of the specific tiny little rules that you, as a native speaker, maybe you utilize these rules, but you may not understand the ins and outs of those rules when you're asked to explain them. So I'm doing this program, and like I said, it is kicking my butt. And I think the hardest element of this course is specifically when I'm working with language formation. So it's pretty much you are given like a sentence with a specific grammar, and you're given a keyword, and you're supposed to take that keyword and put it into this new structure based upon specific elements of grammar that have to do with English. And it is extremely hard for me to do this task. Even with studying, I still find it just really hard to do. And I'm noticing that it's really not just testing my ability to like utilize English, but it's testing my ability to like utilize English and then put it within a specific structure or grammatical structure of English. And what I'm learning from this difficulty and this frustration are a few things. And it's important because part of living abroad and part of this channel is growing. And in order to grow, sometimes you have to kind of stop and look at the things that cause a little tension. And then you're able to look at those, analyze it, and then you're able to grow. And you're able to understand some elements of living abroad and understand some elements of the language. Now, I found that within my course, there are certain people that are just really good at language. It doesn't matter what language you throw in front of them, they have the ability to just absorb language. And I know a few people with that amazing ability. I am not that type of person. I'm not a person where I see a structure or I hear language and then automatically I'm able to utilize it in a functional way. For me, it really takes time for my brain to marinate in those different structures and those different words. I've been in Poland for 4.5 years and I still don't speak Polish. I can't even formulate a Polish sentence. I understand words, but I'm barely at that stage where I hear words. And I think that just has to do a lot with the way that my brain works and how it's totally different from other people's brains, specifically those people who have the ability to pick up language. Yet, in this experience and going through the university process, it has truly made me feel a bit humble about the process And it's truly put me in the shoes of the students that I work with. And I just have to say, I commend anyone, specifically adults, specifically older adults, who are taking on this tedious task of learning a language because it is extremely hard. When you think about your own language and how hard it is to maintain your own language and to be able to use your own language as best as you can or in a proper way, that's hard. So think about trying to go ahead and learn a second language. So I want to give props to everyone out there who is learning a second language or a third language or even a fourth language. Like, I have to give a salute to you because it is a challenge. And because I'm going through this language program, I understand how difficult it is to acquire a language specific at the academic level. The take home message with this video is definitely that if you are thinking about moving abroad, you're not just going to go through the struggle or have the ability to learn a second language. You are also specifically if you're teaching English, you are going to learn a lot about your language on a deeper level. And you may even discover that a lot of times when you're speaking or when you're writing your mother language, you're making mistakes or you're not doing it the correct way. And so that is definitely one of the things that you're going to take with you when you or take away from the experience when you move abroad. In addition to that, I think that for me, being in the program that I'm in and teaching English is that I just find language a lot more fascinating, regardless of how difficult it is. And I find it kind of like a miracle that as humans, we have been able to develop all these different languages with different rules and different kind of mechanisms that allow them to operate and they function. And it's so interesting that there's like a manual when it comes to languages. Like you can literally buy a book, a manual, and learn everything there is to know about a specific language and more. But anyway, if you like this kind of content, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. And I can't wait to see you next week.